Chief Executive Officer, Bionics Biosciences, Shri C.P. Gurnani ji, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIM Nagpur, and Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, Director of IIM Nagpur. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our silver partner, Ahluwalia Contracts India Limited, Sustainability Energy Partner, Indian Oil, Bronze Partner, AWS, Media Partner, Tech Mahindra Presence, Business Today, Gifting Partner, Boat, Executive Radio Partner, Red FM 93.5, Bajate Raho, Digital and Creative Partner, Buffalo Soldiers, and other summit partners, Spacewood, Infinity, Fugo, Royal Safe Company, Soroco, and Engineers India Limited.
IIM Nagpur started its journey in 2015, and since then it has thrived to create leaders with a vision to contribute to society. IIM Nagpur aspires to generate managers and leaders who have a strong foundation of knowledge along with a zeal for problem solving. Application of the learnings from industry engagement is something that is crucial for future managers and leaders, and IIM Nagpur ensures that this learning is imparted to the students from the beginning itself. At the core of Nagpur, a city that beautifully blends tradition with progress, Zero Mile Samvad stands out as a symbol of intellectual exchange and innovation. This yearly gathering, named after the iconic Zero Mile Stone, represents the geographical center of India, unites experts from various fields for insightful discussions on the intersection of business, technology, and culture. With great pride and excitement, we unveil Zero Mile Samvad, hosted by IIM Nagpur, to you all.
Can you test? Hello.
ZMS is a thought leadership summit that
working.
connects students, alumni, and industry leaders, which is dedicated to contributing sustainably to this historic city of Nagpur and the nation as a whole. The two-day summit delves into technology, business, sustainability, and policy making. Now, we would like to welcome our esteemed dignitaries to light the lamp to mark the beginning of the event. This will be followed by the Saraswati Vandana. For that, we welcome Parinita and Palak and seek the divine blessings of Goddess Saraswati.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्मच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा पूजिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Now, we would request all the dignitaries, Mr. Vivek Wadhwa, CEO, Bionics Biosciences, Shri C.P. Gurnani, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIM Nagpur, Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, Director, IIM Nagpur, Professor Ranjita, Chairperson ZMS, and Professor Alok, Chairperson Executive MBA Program, to please come on the stage. We would also like to invite Mr. Siddharth to join them on the stage. We welcome our esteemed guest with a small token. We would like to request Mr. C.P. Gurnani to please present a small token to Mr. Vivek Wadhwa. We would like to request our esteemed director, sir, to please present a bouquet to Mr. C.P. Gurnani. We would like to request Professor Ranjita ma'am, Chairperson ZMS, to please provide bouquet to director, sir.
Now, I would like to introduce our director, Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, who has been a guiding light for all of us. It's because of his vision that IIM Nagpur has reached great heights and is contributing to creating talent for the corporate world. Prior to joining IIM Nagpur, Dr. Maitri served as the director of IIM Trichy, following stints at the L&T Institute of Project Management, Vadodara, MDI Gurgaon, IMI New Delhi, and BITS Pilani. A PhD from IIT Bombay, Dr. Maitri is serving as chairperson of various national institutions such as the All India Board of Management Studies, AICTE, and the Innovation Committee Bureau of Indian Standards. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome him to ZMS. Sir, I humbly request you to commence the event by giving the welcome address.
Very good morning. Today's chief guest, our Honorable Cabinet Minister, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan ji, our guest of honor, Professor Vivek Wadhwa, Professor Sri C.P. Gurnani ji, Chairman Board of Governors, IIM Nagpur, my faculty colleagues and this ZMS chairs, Professor Ranjita and Professor Alok, all the esteemed board members, invited guests, my faculty members, dear students and staff, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all for Zero Mile Samvad. All of you know that Zero Mile Samvad, it is a unique, a signature title IIM Nagpur has introduced from this year onwards. This Zero Mile Samvad is based on 4 fundamental pillars. Here, 4 important stakeholders, the government, the technocrats, business, and sustainability and spirituality promoters, all these 4 pillars are coming together on single platform here at IIM Nagpur to discuss the India, 2930, 5 trillion economy, and 2047, as very recently 11th, our Honorable Prime Minister introduced or launched Viksit Bharat all over the country. So 2047, our dream is India has to become a developed nation. So for that point of view, this particular Zero Mile Samvad is a great discussion, debate, as well as there are a lot of insights, and out of that, we are going to prepare a roadmap how to take India as a 5 trillion economy and in the year 2047, 30 trillion economy. So that is what the government dream is there. And for that, this is a small initiative from IIM Nagpur to march in that direction. Now, this particular Zero Mile Samvad, bringing all those luminaries and we are going to get a lot of insights. And today, our Honorable Education Minister and as well as the Skill and Entrepreneurship Development Minister is going to address us as a chief guest, and he is going to give insight. And our guest of honor, Professor Vivek Wadhwaji, I think he is the one person. He is not only a professor, he is a great entrepreneur, and his company is exists in Silicon Valley of India, from US Silicon Valley to Silicon Valley of India, Bangalore. And Vivek Wadhwaji is going to talk about futuristic technology, and I am sure this inaugural ceremony, a lot of insights we are going to take. But before that, I will just briefly introduce, I am Nagpur. For my guest, I am Nagpur, started 2015 as a 14th IIM, and I am Nagpur made a small beginning of MBA program, 55 capacity in the first year, and then there onwards we kept on increasing the strength. Today our strength of MBA is 260. We have started PhD program. We also initiated executive MBA, I am Nagpur Pune campus and I am Nagpur campus. Apart from that, I am Nagpur also in big way, executive education. And I am happy to inform you that I am Nagpur established a reputation as a fastest growing business school amongst the IIM and other business schools in the country. And I am Nagpur today in executive education, it has made a mark and it has also received awards. And if you look at some of the programs, first of its kind, like cyber security and data science, it is first of its kind in India. We started with the support of FedEx Institute of Technology. And we also started another unique program, 1-year certificate program in the area of blockchain with the Center for Data Digitalization, Copenhagen Business School. So these are the two unique initiatives we have done. Apart from that, I am Nagpur is the only business school started Chief Minister Fellowship Program. And we are the first institution to start ESG management for the biggest public sector undertaking, Coal India Limited. And I am Nagpur not only attract large number of senior executives for executive education, but also large number of certificate programs we are doing. And I am Nagpur because of the faculty members, their cutting edge research and exposure to industry and also exposure to the global world. I am Nagpur is doing extremely well and it is the fastest growing. And I am Nagpur also, if I give the figure, last 3 years, we have moved 6 times our revenue, we have taken to 6 times in just 3 years. So this is the way I am Nagpur is growing, and as Vivek Wadhwaji, always talks about futuristic technology, we have made a small initiative in the form of cyber security, blockchain, and also some of the research projects, climate change after COP26, one of my faculty colleague has done, and we are doing large number of CSR projects. So these are some of the initiative I am Nagpur has done. And today I am Nagpur also, if you look at the recent ranking, Business World, it has taken over some of the second generation IIM, like IIM Rohtak, Kashipur and Ranchi. We are ahead of them, and I am sure in year to come, IIM Nagpur establish itself as one of the great business school in this part of the world. And also IIM Nagpur is doing a lot of activities in entrepreneurship and social. INFED, IIM Nagpur Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, it is a Section 8 company. And amongst the IIM, we have received the highest funding from Niti Aayog, and we also received the Startup India Seed Fund. We also received a fellowship program, and Department of Science and Technology also granted entrepreneurship fellows in residence. That is another program we are doing, apart from a magnet project of Government of Maharashtra Agni Business Network project. So these are some of the initiatives we have taken. So with this, once again, I welcome all of you for this very important Zero Mile Samvad. So IIM Nagpur is the center point where best of the world comes to IIM Nagpur and best of Nagpur goes to the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Maitri, for your words of wisdom. Next, we have the keynote address by our guest of honor, Professor Vivek Wadhwa. Professor Vivek Wadhwa is an academician, entrepreneur, and author of 5 best-selling books and is the CEO of YNX Biosciences. He has been a globally syndicated columnist for the Washington Post and has held appointments as Distinguished Fellow at Harvard Law School's Labor and Work-Life Program. Professor Vivek is a distinguished authority at the forefront of technological advancements, reshaping our global landscape. His expertise lies in researching, speaking, and writing about cutting-edge technologies that are driving transformative changes across various sectors. His work underscores the democratization of capabilities once exclusive to governments and large corporations, ushering in an era where solutions to critical global issues are within reach for smaller entities. Sir, I request you to give your insights on the topic, fostering synergy, bridging academia and industry for a $5 trillion economy.
Great, thank you. You know, I think that India is actually underestimating its own capabilities. Instead of 5 trillion, our Prime Minister should be talking about 10 trillion opportunity, $10 trillion, because that's how big the opportunity is. I'm going to give you a crash course in the future and tell you why I believe this is possible. First of all, if I can get my clicker working, this is not working. Do you have a different clicker? It's always technology that holds us back and moves us forward. Maybe it's a dead battery, whatever it might be. Let me start talking about this anyway. Right now, there's so much change happening. There's so many opportunities. Literally, we have the ability to build trillion-dollar businesses, trillion-dollar industries, and billion-dollar businesses. You just have to understand what's happening, put the pieces together, and you can own the future. And you have to get your clickers working. It does not work. Is it that I'm too far from there? All right. Let me come to this side of the song. The technology advances we're going to see in this decade, we're going to finally have cars that drive themselves and don't crash. I drive a Tesla in Silicon Valley, and it crashes. Hopefully, in the next 5 years or so, we'll have cars that don't crash. We're going to have cars that fly themselves. Literally, flying cars are coming. We're going to have drones delivering almost everything. Forget about these Dunzo drivers and all of these delivery services you have here. You're going to have drone delivery directly to your houses. Robotic housekeepers. Instead of the maids, you're going to have robots that do exactly what the maids do. Robotic friends and companions. This is a bigger problem in the West than it is in India, where you have strong family ties, you have friendships. In the West, it's sheer loneliness. So this is desperately needed in the West. And then AI doctors. In the next 5 years, we're going to have doctors that exceed human capabilities on our smartphones. We're going to have cures for every disease, including cancer. This is something that I'm personally doing all I can to make happen. We're going to have gene-edited plants. Imagine being able to grow mangoes in the desert of Rajasthan. Possible. Gene-edited human beings. This is something I worry about Indians because they're already selecting what sex they want. Imagine if they can select the IQ level, the color of the skin. These are all things that are going to be possible. And then at the same time, we're going to have a nightmare when we start resurrecting the woolly mammoth and bringing back Jurassic Park. This is happening as well. And what I said was, this is all in the next decade. Bionic enhancements. Literally being able to get super strength. Happening. And this is just the beginning. There's much, much more. Virtual reality and holodecks. If you ever watched Star Trek, you know the holodecks? They're coming. 3D printed houses, electronics, household goods, space colonies, they're all coming. Green revolution, vertical farms, 3D printed meat, all coming. Unlimited and almost free energy coming. Commercial space exploration coming. This is the magic of technology. This is how technologies have been advancing. It took thousands of years to go from agriculture to pottery, the plow, the peak of Rome. Over the last 100 years, we've had advance after advance after advance. Human beings don't realize how fast things are changing. We're like the frogs in the water when the temperature is boiling, when the water is boiling. We don't understand what's going on here. Technology is advancing exponentially. and it's making amazing things possible. We know about computing. Our smartphones now have more computing power than the crazy supercomputers that could not be imported into India until the 1990s or so. It's everything that computing touches: AI, robotics, 3D printings, networks, digital medicine, nanotechnology, synthetic biology, genomics. Everything is advancing exponentially now. Now let's look at medicine in particular. You know, the Apple Watch is a medical device. So Apple has gotten into the medical device business. I met some entrepreneurs here who are building some amazing technologies to monitor your health 24/7. What this means is that we're getting massive amounts of data. Data like we've never ever imagined before. Everything about us is being monitored 24/7. Everything about our lifestyle, our habits, who we meet, where we go, everything about us is being captured and stored on the cloud. When you have data, what you do is you use AI to analyze it. Soon, as when I say soon, in the next 5, 7 years or so, AI will exceed the capabilities of human doctors. You will trust your AI more than you trust your doctor, because the AI has access to all of your data and knows about your lifestyle, your habits. It will provide you with better guidance than your doctors do. Medicine is becoming digital and information technology. What is India specialized in? IT. India is literally an IT superpower. Therefore, anything that becomes information-based, which becomes information technology, India has a chance of owning as an industry, starting with medicine. Imagine turning all of our IT people loose on the healthcare industry and the hundreds of billions of dollars of value that can be created. India can start on that today. And then there's the human genome. It took decades to get to the first human genome sequence in the year 2000. It cost $3 billion. What cost $3 billion in 2000 costs $300 today. What's happened is that we've become data, and our doctors are becoming software, which means that we can cure every disease. If you look at a map of disease, there are about 5,000-6,000 diseases altogether since the beginning of humanity. There are only about 6,000 diseases altogether. And there are about 300 or 400 or 500 symptoms you can have. If you start putting all of these pieces together, you begin to realize this is baby stuff for AI. Solving disease is a data problem. And then look into your smartphones, your iPhones or your Android phones. They have the most advanced sensors known to humanity. Gyroscopes, accelerometers, magnetometers, barometers. All of these advanced sensors are in your smartphones. Which means, these would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars just 30 or 40 years ago. And they would have weighed 50, 100 kilos, which you have in your smartphones. Which means that we can actually build real smart cities. Imagine you now using the IT and engineering skills of India and automating everything about city management. I don't know why this hasn't happened yet, because the sensors are inexpensive, the skills are here. You already have the ability to run massive data centers for global companies. Why isn't India running data centers for the entire world and setting up smart cities all over the world? And I don't mean the smart cities that the government has been talking about. I'm talking about really intelligent smart cities in which every aspect of the city is monitoring, the city's functioning is being monitored and optimized using AI. This can be done today, and this is a multi-$100 billion opportunity for India. Greater than today's IT industry, just on one technology alone. And then robots. Watch what the industrial robots can do today. They can do human-like things. This is not a big deal in India because labor is cheap. But India's IT industry wasn't built on solving India's problems. It was built on solving the West's problem, where labor is extremely expensive. So the Indian IT industry could be automating the entire Western manufacturing industry and bringing manufacturing back from China. This is a $1 trillion opportunity for India to take advantage of. And you already have all the skills necessary to do that. And then in agriculture, you also have agricultural robots. In America, in Europe, one of the biggest problems in agriculture is that they don't have labor to pick the fruits or to process the food that they have. Robots can do all that. And India can build the robots, program them, and manage them just as it manages data centers. It's the same exact problem. Another $1 trillion opportunity for India. And then AI. What is AI? AI is all of these things. AI is everything you heard about in science fiction, as well as the rudimentary stuff that websites do. The good thing and the bad thing about AI is it's about to disrupt every single industry. Everything from journalism to law, you name it, medicine, you name it, every industry you look at, wherever there's information, wherever there's data, is about to be disrupted by AI. And what does it take to learn AI? Kids out of school can learn it. I mean, for my company, I'll talk about it later on. I'm hiring graduates from Delhi University rather than the AI gurus in Silicon Valley. Those people in Silicon Valley make $500,000 a year. The top graduates of Stanford with some machine learning experience. Here I can hire them for $8,000 a year, $10,000 a year, and the people here are pledged to work 70 hours a week. Narayan Murthy has gotten through to them, and everyone's talking about 70-hour work weeks. In Silicon Valley, you mention that to anyone, and they'll walk out of an interview. They don't want to work more than 35 hours a week. They feel entitled to all the benefits that the big tech companies give them. So India has a huge advantage in being able to build the AI systems for the world. 3D printing. This technology has been in development for about 2 or 3 decades right now. But it's coming to the point that we can print almost anything. Soon within the next decade, we're going to be 3D printing electronics. We already have 3D printed houses coming up all over the world. India needs to build houses for the poor. This is the big problem here, that we could be building entire new townships using 3D printers, literally overnight using locally sourced material from each part of India. This is possible today, and India should be leading the world in 3D printing housing for its people. 3D printed cars and buses. Anand Mahindra should be worried about the competition that startups can give him, because they can print more elegant cars than he can possibly manufacture. This is possible today. There are already companies doing all these things in different parts of the world. And then synthetic biology, playing God. This is also possible right now. I talked about reading DNA. Well, guess what? We can write DNA. So far, it's been extremely expensive, but the cost of writing DNA is dropping exponentially, which means that we can design new organisms, new mechanisms, all sorts of new things, and print it. We can also edit DNA. This is what CRISPR is all about, that literally we can modify genes so that they get all sorts of new properties. CRISPR animals. China has been going crazy with this. They're doing all sorts of bizarre research in creating CRISPR-engineered animals. It's disgusting what China is doing. It worries me. But on the other hand, you can also create CRISPR foods, CRISPR apples. Like I said, you can now develop crops that will grow in the desert that are suited to the Indian climate, even with climate change. And what does it take to learn CRISPR? Almost nothing. All of you could be learning how to do CRISPR editing. Within 6 months, you could become gene editing scientists. All of the students at IIM have the capability of doing that. There's nothing magical about it. That's how easy this stuff is. And all the ingredients necessary to do gene editing, they're available on the web, including human gene editing. You can buy kits in the United States in which you can edit humans. This is all possible. And then virtual and augmented reality. This is something we've been watching for the last 10, 15 years. And with Facebook's failure to deliver working, useful Oculus, we become pessimistic about it. But Apple is about to blow a hole in this entire industry with its Vision Pro technology. The next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a bigger opportunity for Indian IT than cloud services was. Indian IT was very slow to recognize cloud services, and they missed out on big opportunities because of it. When they did wake up, they were smart. They've now focused on it. But I don't know why Indian IT isn't figuring out that virtual reality is the next thing. The entire user interface paradigm changes. Rather than looking at data the way you do right now, you're going to be looking at it in 3 dimensions visually. So forget about Indian IT. All of you folks could be looking forward. You have to understand exponential. You have to understand that right now it's expensive, it's tedious, it doesn't work very well. But if you look at the exponential curve, within 5 years, the technology will be inexpensive, it'll be extremely powerful, it'll be world-changing. There's another $1 trillion opportunity for India, and there's an opportunity for you folks to build billion-dollar businesses. You can do it right now. And then the problems of humanity. I believe we're going to solve humanity's grand challenges in the next 10 to 20 years as well. And I'm personally involved with a bunch of projects that I'm going to tell you about. First of all, energy. I mean, this is a fundamental need of every part of the world. So far, we've been relying on fossil fuels, which India doesn't have. India is dependent on imports. But you know, the one thing India is very rich in is sunlight. It is one of the most energy-rich places on this planet. We're bathed in sunlight. And the entire planet gets 1,400 times more energy every day than it consumes in a year. And India is a sunlight superpower. So far, it's been too expensive to mine that energy. However, the price is dropping exponentially. As the price drops, the installations double. So it's a virtuous cycle for solar energy. Move forward 5 years. It's a near certainty that the cost of solar would be at least half of what it is today. Move forward 10 years, it'll be 1/10 of what it is today. What does that mean? That means energy is free. That you won't be dependent on these diesel generators anymore. Already the cost of solar is less than diesel. You can start switching over en masse to solar, and India has all the resources it needs. Renewables are reaching tipping points. In the next 2 or 3 years, it will not make sense to be buying energy from your utility companies, from the electricity companies, because the cost is going to keep dropping. That's the beauty of exponential technologies. Electric storage also is advancing exponentially. This is why Tesla cars are now about $30,000 in the United States. It's going to keep dropping. And it's not going to be based on lithium, which India doesn't have. Sodium, India has tons of sodium. Sodium batteries, China is pioneering. There are a number of companies in Europe that are pioneering. Mukesh Ambani bought Faradium, which has sodium ion. India could be building its own battery technologies and leaping ahead of all the old lithium-based technologies there are. Another $1 trillion opportunity for India. Prices of storage, energy storage, are 1/10 of what they were in 2010, and they're going to halve by 2025 and reach a tipping point in which you don't need these diesel generators and all the scrap that you have here. Agriculture. We're about to launch a green revolution in agriculture as well. This is something I'm personally involved with. This is the way Mother Nature protects our planet. This is the way Mother Nature enriches the flora of this planet, is through lightning. Lightning is a fourth state of matter, plasma. The sun is plasma. When that plasma goes through air, it modifies the water. It modifies the rainwater so that it adds nitrates, it adds oxygen species. So when you have H2O and add an oxygen molecule to it, what do you get? H2O2. H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide. We use it as a disinfectant. When diluted H2O2 hits plants, it's like the vaccines we take. It has the same effect on plants as vaccines do. It builds their immunity. And then when you add nitrates to the water, that's what fertilizer is. The Bosch-Haber process, which is what nitrogen fertilizers are based on, consumes massive amounts of energy. It destroys the environment. But that's what we're pumping into our plants right now. What if you could do it the way Mother Nature does it? That's possible now. This is a technology that I'm personally involved with, which converts water into plasma back into water. As a byproduct, they can create plasma-activated water. Plasma-activated water is what I talked about. At first, we took this technology across the United States to different farms over there and achieved mind-blowing results. 44% increases in the output of melons, 48% increases in basil in Sardinia, Italy. Test after test in the United States was amazing. But the United States isn't open to innovation the way India is. This is why this is a company I've invested in. I've been mentoring them. I told them, get the hell out of the United States, come to India. After a lot of arm twisting, I got them here. And they're now testing this in several sites all across India. And the results are even more mind-blowing than what we've had in the United States. You're talking about, for example, wheat having 99% germination rates. Simply by washing the seeds, processing the seeds with plasma-activated water, 99% germination rates. Farmers typically have to put 2 or 3 seeds in to get the germination rates that they want here, the low-quality seeds that they have. When you process the plasma-activated water, almost 100% germination rate, so which means you're now spending a lot less on seeds. And then the output, if you look at some of the preliminary results, 62% increase in crop yield, 39% increase. This is all unoptimized. These are the type of results we're getting in India. So this is about to launch the next green revolution in India. The technologies are being tested in Chennai, in Hyderabad, in New Delhi. Several institutions have them, including government institutions. The Heartfulness Institute of Hyderabad is where I was a few weeks ago. I'm headed back over there. Daji, who's their spiritual guide, he turned 1,000 acres of barren land into a lush forest. He's really into this, and he's now doing experiments which are mind-blowing. When I was there a few weeks ago, He had imported papaya trees from Kerala, which don't grow very well in Hyderabad. So the plants were withering, they were dying. They were getting this white fungus because they weren't suited to Hyderabad. They treated it with plasma active water water 3 times, and they sent me pictures of it last week. It's amazing, the plants have come back to life. They're growing very healthy. In Chennai, they had some neem trees that were dying. They were decaying. They treated them with plasma activated water, green and thriving. So this technology cost almost nothing. India is going to be the ground zero for all of this. Now, curing cancer. Why is curing cancer important? I lost my wife to cancer, and I made it my life's mission to cure cancer. This is what keeps me going right now, is curing cancer. So after losing, I put together a grand plan, presented it to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister was amazing. I mean, Narendra Modi really understood what I was talking about, and he told his people to do whatever it takes to help me. So, you know, the key thing, as I said earlier on in curing cancer, is data. It's a data problem. What does India have in abundance? Data. With the 1.3 billion people, it's data, 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 data. Cancer is more prevalent here than the rest of the world, even though you don't recognize cancer in India. So the largest, most ambitious cancer project in the world has launched in India. Venkat Ramachandran, Moni Kurikos have launched a company called Karkanos, which is building a distributed cancer care network. The most advanced IT infrastructure for cancer is being created in India, so much so that the White House was really excited about it, and when Narendra Modi visited there, they had Karkanos as part of the White House announcement. Because this is more advanced than what the when the White House people saw what India had already built, they realized it's 5 or 10 years ahead of what they were thinking about in the United States. India's leapfrogging in cancer. And then, once you have all the data, what do you do with it? You use AI to analyze it. So this is all being done in India, made in India, for the rest of the world. Now, I talked about the plasma technology. We discovered another byproduct of it, that we could do mass spectrometry with it in real time, plasma spectral analysis. So one of the problems that with Karkanos had was that when they were screening patients, they were being screened too late. Most people in India are detected, when they detect cancer, it's stage 4. Cancer has such a stigma in India. No one wants to talk about the fact that they have cancer or their relative has cancer because there's social taboo, social stigma. So people die, suffer needlessly. So I wanted to change the entire method of diagnosing disease and cut the cost down to almost zero. And I realized that the same technology that we're using for agriculture can solve this problem for me by doing spectral analysis. The question is, what if we could do the same with organic matter that we're doing with gene sequencing, converting organics into light and then using AI to analyze it? That's exactly what the technology that I'm now building will do. That it converts fluids, even breath, into plasma. And along the way, we can capture the entire spectrum, the entire light spectrum. And the goal is to build this device here, a device that's the size of a printer, which costs $10,000, which uses about 100 watts of power. Within 5 minutes, it analyzes your entire urine or your breath or your blood, uploads it to the cloud, runs AI analytics on it, and then tells you exactly what diseases you have. It tells you all the mineral deficiencies you have. This is what I'm trying to build. I'm right now at the 90% confidence level that within a year, I will be able to prove all of this technology. Within 2 years, we'll be able to start rolling it out. All because of what's possible in India. This technology could not have been commercialized in India, in the United States. Why? Because to train the AI will require hundreds of thousands of samples. In the United States, scientists can't even get 200 or 300 blood samples or gene samples or anything. It's almost impossible to work with the United States medical system and do anything. Here, by locating side by side with pathology labs, we can start training our AI up on a scale which is unimaginable anywhere else. Hundreds of thousands of samples a month, millions of samples every year. And with that, we can build the most advanced spectral technology there is. In conclusion, the message is that there are trillion-dollar industries being created right now because of exponential technologies, and innovation is globalized. Entrepreneurs in India, anywhere in the world, can now do the same things that the most advanced labs in the West can. Before, India had a disadvantage. You could not even import supercomputers into India. Now, India has the most advanced technologies in the world. And the entrepreneurs are doing amazing things. Students now can be participating in world-changing innovations. India's IT experience is invaluable. I mean, this is what gives India the big edge, that it has a massive, massive IT industry. Now, it looks like the IT industry is in trouble right now, which is almost a good thing because it means that a lot of the talent that will be going into cleaning up after the West can be going into innovation, into building useful things, into uplifting humanity. This is a unique opportunity India has today. So if next 5 years, India could start leading the world in field after field after field. India does not need to follow anymore. India can lead the world. India does not need to do things the Western way. India can do things its own way and really leapfrog. You know, the West keeps telling India to invest more in basic research. I say that's complete bullshit. We don't need more basic research. We already have trillions of dollars of research that have been done. We need to commercialize existing technologies. What I did with Vionics, my startup, was that I didn't do any R&D. I simply took technology that had already been built, basic science breakthroughs that had already been made, and I'm using it in new ways. That is where the trillion-dollar opportunities are. For India when India's IT industry happened, India didn't build the semiconductor. It didn't even write the software. It didn't write the operating systems. All it did was build a layer on top of that, build a platform on top of that, and that's how you built a multi-hundred-billion-dollar technology industry, is by building on top of other technologies. So forget about basic research, just get into applied research, into transforming ideas into inventions. All right, everyone, I'm leaving you with some reading assignments. You need to read these 2 books. They're both available in India. They're only about 200 or 300 rupees. So there's no excuse not to read them. The first book, Driving the Driverless Car, tells you about everything from AI to quantum computing. The second book is methods. Once you decide you want to be an entrepreneur, the second book tells you the secrets of Silicon Valley. How do you build trillion-dollar industries and billion-dollar businesses? With that, I'll hand it back to my friend, CP.
Thank you, Professor Wadhwa. Are we taking any questions or?
I'm sorry. I can answer as many questions as you have. No questions, please.
When the Theranos.
I know, this is Theranos times 10. Yeah.
How do you inspire confidence that this is going to work?
Yeah. The question, in the United States, Theranos was the biggest disaster in biotech. They raised $3 billion at a $10 billion valuation. It was complete fraud. So when I talk about what I'm doing to Silicon Valley investors, they freak out. They literally have spasms because they got so badly burnt in this thing. So I had several meetings. When I started this company, I said, let's raise $5 million. And so I went to Sand Hill Road, started meeting the venture capitalists, and I was disgusted with the attitude. First of all, when I talked about India, I said, my goal is to provide full medical screening to hundreds of millions of people for 100 rupees. I said, what does that mean, $100? I said, no, $1.20. Well, you can charge $1,000 here. Why would you want to do it? Because I'm trying to help 1 billion people. They didn't understand that. And then, they kept comparing it to Theranos. It was to the point that I stormed out of a meeting with venture capital saying, look, I don't want your money. I used an expletive word that I won't use over here, but I stormed out of the meeting saying, I don't want your money. Because this is right after my visit to India, where I was meditating with Darji in Heartfulness Institute. And then I was meeting students over here. I said, why do I need to be in America when my $5 million I can do for $500,000 in India? $500,000 I can fund it myself. So I decided to screw the venture capitalists because of the Theranos problem and to bring my technology to India. And I announced that I'm moving my R&D to India. I wrote a piece in Fortune about it. Google my name, Vivek Wadhwa, Fortune, anti-Theranos. You'll see the article I wrote. And the funny thing was, after I wrote that article, I had the heads of investment banks, venture capitalists, all calling me up saying, look, we would really like to meet you. I said, too late, I don't want your money. I don't want your money. I said that about 15 times, and that's it. I don't want Silicon Valley money anymore. Yeah.
So one of the questions would be in terms of like your presentation and also the kind of the trends, the cost of processing, cost of bandwidth, cost of storage essentially has gone down to zero. Yeah. And one of the things I read was the only cost, which is like $150,000 per year, is the software professionals. And because of the AI and all the other stuff which is coming up, essentially that is also going to come down to zero at some point in time. So what's your take and what will be your advice to the young people?
Well, you know, like I said, when I was looking to hire people in Silicon Valley, computer science graduates in Silicon Valley make about $150,000 a year. I needed 5 machine learning people. And I was shocked when Stanford graduates were telling me that, look, one of their colleagues just got $500,000 from Facebook. So they want a $500,000 package. I'm saying, what the hell is going on over here? I came to Delhi. And I met a bunch of students, and they were telling me that, look, the IT companies aren't hiring them anymore. They may have to do masters because they can't get jobs. So I said, what sort of salaries do you get? And the students said 5 or 6 lakh. I said, that's a month. I said, that's not bad. That's only about $60,000, $70,000. He said, no, that's a year. So I said, what if I offered you 8 lakh? He said, we would work 70 hours a week. So India can't complain about salaries here. These students make practically nothing when they graduate. And the talent is abundant. The attitudes are amazing. People really, literally want to work. Thanks to Narayan Murthy for bringing this 70-hour thing into the public, because for startups, I work 70 hours. In fact, I work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week is how hard I'm working right now, at the age of 66. That's what it takes to build a world-changing company. Indians are happy to do that. So.
Thank you so much, sir. Due to...
Let's all give a big hand to Professor Wadhwa. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights on the recent technological developments and its scope in various sectors, and also India's potential moving forward. Next, we have the inaugural address from our chief guest, Shri Dharmendra Pradhan Ji, Honorable Minister of Education and Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. Shri Dharmendra Pradhan is an Indian politician who has held significant ministerial portfolios, including serving as the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas and the Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. His contributions to the energy sector and efforts in skill development has been instrumental in shaping India's growth trajectory. A dynamic and forward-thinking leader, Dharmendra Pradhan Ji continues to play a crucial role in the nation's development. We are honored to have him as the distinguished guest at our event, where his insights and experiences promises to inspire and enlighten all of us. Now we would like to hear his message.
Professor Bibek Wadhwa, CEO, Bionics Biosciences, Sri C.P. Gurnani Ji, MD and CEO, Tech Mahindra, Chairman Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Management, Nagpur, Sri Bhimrai Maitri Ji, Director, IIM Nagpur, leaders of industry, academia, faculty, students, friends from media. Namaskar. I wish I could be there in Nagpur in person, but due to parliamentary engagements, I could not come. I am glad to be participating virtually at the inaugural session of Zero Mile Samvad, a global thought leaders summit. It is indeed a great initiative to deliberate on the nation's journey to 5 trillion economy and beyond. This platform, hosted by the prestigious IIM Nagpur, has brought together leading minds from diverse backgrounds to ignite discourse and chart the course for our nation's future. Friends, we stand at critical juncture where the transformative changes are happening across the world with emergent technologies, huge geopolitical upheavals, and global challenges like climate change. In this time, it is crucial for us to engage in open dialogue and collaborative action. The future of jobs, business and our economy hinges on our ability to adapt, evolve and embrace the power of knowledge and creativity. In such a time, India is rejuvenating with a new energy and vigor under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has given 1.44 billion Indians the vision of Vikasit Bharat by 2047. Today, we have more than 50% population below 30 years. The benefit of a potential demographic dividend is obvious, but this potential will not remain with us forever, and nor is the translation to a dividend an automatic process. It needs concrete efforts and policy interventions. We have about a little more than 2 decades to tap fully into the potential of the youth, or what we refer to as the Amrit Kal, the 25 years to 100 years of independence. Friends, these are the vital years when India is going to take a quantum jump. We all have to work round the clock for Vikasit Bharat by 2047. As Honorable Prime Minister said 2 days ago, today every person, every institution and every organization has to move forward with a pledge that whatever I do should be for developed India. हम सभी को कर्तव्य बोध में डूबना होगा. विकसित भारत कैसा होगा ये सरकार नहीं, देश तय करेगा, युवा भारत तय करेगा. To realize the potential of our youth, the National Education Policy 2020 stands as a beacon of hope and progress. This landmark policy, envisioned by our visionary Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, aims to equip our youth with the skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in the 21st century. By fostering critical thinking, application-based learning, problem-solving and holistic development, the NEP lays the foundation for a generation of empowered citizens who will drive India ascent to global leadership. The journey demands a robust and collaborative partnership between academia and industry. NEP 2020 calls upon our esteemed academic institution to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge, development of skills, and practical application. Industry-oriented infrastructure and courses are essential for bridging the gap between academia and industry. By establishing state-of-art labs, research centers, incubation facilities, and centers of excellence, we can create an environment conducive to innovation and entrepreneurship. Our National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme, NAPS, incentivizes industry to engage apprentices, promoting a closer tie between academia and industry. I encourage industry to provide on-the-job training opportunities for apprentices, creating a symbiotic relationship between theoretical learning and practical experience. More than 28 lakhs apprentices have joined establishment to learn while they are during their skill training. We are actively working with leading industrial organizations to identify and establish future skills program. The curriculum is being prepared in futuristic technologies such as AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, sustainability and cloud computing for grades 11, 12 in order to prepare them for the future. We have initiated digital platforms and online courses that connect academia with industry-relevant skill development. These platforms offer industry-recognized certification, making the skill development process more adaptive and accessible to the learners across different academic institutions. Skill India Digital Portal is a comprehensive digital platform that seeks to revolutionize the landscape of skill, education and employment and entrepreneurship in India. The portal today has more than 12 lakhs registration and has already impacted more than 1 lakh hours of e-learning. Friends, the next few years will be crucial for us as it represents a huge opportunity to adopt digitization in all aspects of our lives. By providing the right skills to our youngsters and creating a future-ready workforce, we will not only drive the 1 trillion digital economy, but also transform our nation into a global skill hub. The Zero Mile Samvad serves as a perfect platform to forge this crucial collaboration. The thought-provoking panel discussions, interactive workshops, and presence of leading minds across business and academia provide an unparalleled opportunity to exchange ideas, share the best practices, and develop actionable solutions for the future. Journey to a 5 trillion economy by 2025 has challenges, but I am confident that through innovation, collaboration and unwavering determination, we can achieve this ambitious goal. Under the leadership of Sri Narendra Modi ji, India will very soon take a leap from being the 5th largest economy to become the 3rd largest in the world. Together we can unlock the true potential of our youth and propel India towards a future boundless prosperity and global leadership. I am sure each one of you will actively engage in this discussion, share your insights and work together to shape a brighter future for our nation. What will come out of 2 days Samvad will be Amrit Ras, nectar of the Manthan. I look forward to receiving your suggestions and white paper that comes out of this conference. Let us make the best of our opportunities. As Honorable Prime Minister said, यही समय है, सही समय, यही भारत का समय है. Thank you friends. Jai Hind.
Now, I would like to invite Dr. Bhimrai Maitri to felicitate our honorable guests by giving the token of gratitude. I would like to welcome Dr. Bhimrai Maitri to give the token of gratitude to the guest of honor, Professor Vivek Wadhwa. I would like to request Dr. Bhimrai Maitri to give our token of gratitude to Mr. C.P. Gurnani, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIM Nagpur. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Bhimrai Maitri to give the token of gratitude to Siddharth Sarabi, Managing Editor, Business Today Television. IIM Nagpur provides shade to the imaginative and relentless talent across the country. So, we would like to present our guests with a living and breathing gift commemorating our association. Trees have been planted on the periphery of the Simlipal National Park, Odisha, in your respective names as a part of the Trees for Tiger program. The certificates will now be displayed on the screen.
We will move on to the fireside chat shortly. Now, I would like to welcome C.P. Gurnani, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIM Nagpur, and Mr. Siddharth Zarabi, Managing Editor, Business Today Television at India Today Group, to the dais. Mr. C.P. Gurnani is the CEO and Managing Director of Tech Mahindra. He is recognized as the most promising leader of Asia by the Economic Times. He has a career spanning more than 35 years and has held several leading positions with HP, Perot Systems Limited, and HCL Corporation Limited. He also served as the chairman of NASSCOM. Mr. Gurnani has an entrepreneurial style of management that is a blend of enthusiasm and dynamism. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
We would also like to welcome Mr. Siddharth Zarabi, Managing Editor of Business Today TV at the India Today Group, who is a distinguished figure in Indian economic journalism with 25 years plus of leadership. He is an award-winning journalist who has an extensive career which includes key roles at Financial Express, Hindustan Times, Business Standard, and CNBC TV 18, and also contributing to Bloomberg TV India in 2014. A tech enthusiast with an MBA, Mr. Zarabi actively supports non-profit initiatives in education, health, and social welfare. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Wonderful morning. When I landed at 7 a.m., I realized that it's a bit cold, and I was surprised because I live in Delhi and I did not expect Nagpur to be cold, but this is a very warm place, and thank you to the organizers. Absolutely stunning campus and a great event, Zero Mile Samvad. And how many of you know why this is called Zero Mile Samvad? And how many don't know? Okay, we'll do that some other time. But always a pleasure to have Mr. Gurnani, one of the foremost people in an industry that has not only built brand India across the world, but has actually contributed to the growth and prosperity of Bharat. We somehow at times don't realize the significance of this industry, and Mr. Gurnani has been one person who has spent over 40 years, and that very long innings is going to draw to a close very soon. But on the subject today, and I'm going to start with the theme, charting a path to $5 trillion. There's a debate, Mr. Gurnani, between economists, kab hoga, when will we reach, but that's not what we are going to discuss. What do we need to do? And Mr. Vivek Wadhwa drew out the immense possibilities of the future, but what do you think in terms of 1, 2, 3 that we need to do to not just reach 5, but perhaps $10 trillion?
You know, Siddharth, when I look at overall opportunities, while Professor Wadhwa touched a few, he touched education, he touched healthcare, he touched agriculture, he touched manufacturing, and you would think this is end all of all the challenges or of all the opportunities. But to me, a 5 trillion requires pretty much what I call a mindset change. A mindset change of questioning everything. My questioning is, if China +1 or -1 was an opportunity, could we have done better? My questioning is that if 5 trillion or 10 trillion or 30 trillion is an opportunity, have we revamped our education system to make people ready for employment? I mean, you come to a city like Nagpur, you'd be surprised the shortage of hotel rooms in this month. And average room rate, which used to be 10,000, has gone up to 50,000. And it is, you know, obviously Zero Miles Samvad has contributed, but my point is, if we anticipate and build for future, then we are not only questioning, but taking actions. I am optimistic, I am energized. I know that 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 30 trillion will happen because we are ambitious. But I just want to be sure that it's not just the engine being ambitious, the rest of the coaches are also aligned.
Absolutely. I'll request people in the audience to keep their mobile phones on silent. Two important themes that Mr. Gurnani has drawn out. Before I take them up one by one, I think what is very, very significant here, and we have seen that in Nagpur, and because this is the constituency and the home city of Nitin Gadkari ji, in terms of the road infrastructure, among so many other things, this government over the past 10 years has been building for the future, including a new expressway which is coming up very close to where I live. We'll do that in some other session. Two things that you picked up on. Am I right in saying that what you are really saying, Mr. Gurnani, is have the mindset of a developed country as professionals, as entrepreneurs, as businessmen, and don't think in scarcity terms, because many of us, at least not in my generation, but perhaps your generation, came up in the license Raj regime where the government decided aap itna bana sakte hain, aap itna nahi bana sakte hain. So is that mindset change very important to achieve these stretch goals in economic output?
Clearly, yes. Again, I'm saying you can call it questioning or you can call it curiosity. Like I was in a discussion last night over dinner with Professor Maitri, and there are a couple of other people who said probably the world's best campus they've seen. There was a youngster from Hyderabad, a serial entrepreneur, who studied in Harvard Business School, and he said this campus is better than the Harvard Business School. So guys, take a bow. Yeah? Now, the question that all of us asked to each other was, at Harvard Business School, you get at least 100 companies from different parts of the world which go for their brain spa or a refresh courses. You know, there are at least 100 nationalities in every HBS batch. Why can't I have an aspiration for IIM Nagpur to now become a hub of global education? Why can't I have an aspiration that I will have 100 countries, students fighting with each other to get into IIM Nagpur? And all I'm trying to make a point here is that the moment we set our ambitions high, the moment we display a level of questioning and curiosity, I think we would make the cultural change, and it is imperative that we make that cultural change to get to 30 trillion.
Okay, let's try and visualize this from the prism of something that you've done for all your working life. You've had a storied career in IT, and when I've spoken to IT leaders like you, when I started reporting on IT almost 24, 25 years back, those days people would relate tales of how when they traveled overseas, they would not get enough foreign exchange. When they were going overseas and building businesses. Yesterday, I got to meet an IT industry executive, mid-rank executive, and he said he's based out of Belgium, and he handles marketing across 60 countries. And I said, why Belgium? He said, because we need to be there in those geographies. So the IT industry has actually done the most when it comes to brand Bharat. How have we evolved? And Vivek Wada pointed out the future to us. What excites you in terms of next steps next level of growth in IT, and this is important for a lot of students, both in engineering and management streams, where they want to build a career in this sector, Mr. Gurnani?
First is we have to give credit. You spoke about the physical infrastructure. I'm assuming that you also very proud of the digital infrastructure.
I was going to come to that.
So physical infrastructure is work in progress. I think in digital infrastructure, we can be boastful. I mean, whether it is UPI, whether it is Aadhaar, I mean, you can go on and say India today has more to showcase for digital infrastructure. And I want to give credit to government. This digital infrastructure has been created by the government. Private sector has collaborated. A razor pay providing AI on the UPI infrastructure, I think we need to recognize government took the lead and the private sector has collaborated. So my personal view is that this focus has to continue. Number 3 is we will have to still take a few more bold steps. I mean, we were there at the COP28 just a few weeks ago in Dubai. I think on sustainability, we still have work to do. You and I come from Delhi. I thought you will say at 7 a.m. in the morning, I looked around and I said, I can breathe.
That is true. Yes, sustainability is a very important point, but let's come to the skilling issue, because the dominant sort of attendance here in the audience is young students. How significant is the skilling challenge and the gap between coursework and what industry actually wants on the ground? And you've been chairing this institution, you've hired literally hundreds of thousands of people. How significant is this an issue, Mr. Gurnani?
You know, Siddharth, again, when I meet youngsters and when I meet the startup nation called India, I get very, very encouraged. For example, somebody a day ago showed me a portal that if you're looking for a full stack developer, if you hire an IIT++ graduate, you have to pay, let us say, $10,000. But the same person, if you hire in Chandrapur in Vidarbha, you can actually get it for $5,000. And my point is, when I look at these startup, I find predictive analytics, I find data being synthesized, and I also take into account is that they are also taking into account the education which can be personalized. Now at IIM Nagpur, thanks to Professor Maitri, he has always brought in technology at the core of any curriculum that we design. He was the first one to introduce courses in blockchain. He has made data sciences compulsory for everybody to make sure that the energy of the entrepreneurs translates into the energy for the faculty also. I mean, I must give credit that we have more than 40 entrepreneurs working from the entrepreneurship cell out here. And, they're doing some leading work in the field of agriculture. So I think an educational institute which is aligned to the future needs of the industry, an educational institute which realizes technology is a game changer, an educational institute which realizes that the future of the tomorrow is not only the students, but some of these entrepreneurs. And if some of us, you keep reminding me of my age, so I'll tell you that I'm willing to be called that old fogey, and some of us old fogies remain in touch.
Okay, I'm sure, and we'll probably take 2 questions because I know we have to end in the next 5 or 6 minutes. Very quickly, Vivek Wadhwa spoke about the Indian talent being available at very affordable rates from an employer's perspective. You made that point. Perhaps some student would like to ask you, sir, हमारी तनख्वाह इतनी रहेगी, आप 5 trillion बोल रहे हैं, 10 trillion बोल रहे हैं, 30 trillion बोल रहे हैं, but will the salaries remain the same? Are we just going to be a labor arbitrage market, or is there a future to actually earn global salaries sitting in India?
I mean, the fact is that the global salaries have started coming into a lot of sectors. I mean, many of you cross your heart and say, what did you earn 10 years ago? Cross your heart and say, what did you earn 20 years ago? So the fact is, industry has started paying much higher than what they used to pay. Even when inflation adjusted, our salary levels have gone up. And the fact is, the economic boom, whether we grow at 6.75 or 7.3, the fact is that we are a growing nation, and as a growing nation, our talent will get rewarded. And that talent, if you start taking any of the purchase parity decisions, we'll live a better life, and Vivek Wadhwa would agree that I live a better life here.
Absolutely. Have you worked 70 hours a week all your career?
I want to challenge you, Siddharth. Why did you take the 5:40 a.m. flight? I want to challenge every corporate athlete. Why does he get up at 4 a.m. in the morning? Because he wants to excel. I'm proud that I work 70 hours because I want to excel, and anybody who wants to excel should know there is no shortcut to hard work.
There is no shortcut to hard work. And even if you want to go to Harvard, the way to get to Harvard is also a lot of hard work. So do you agree with what Mr. Narayan Murthy said? Because I noticed that there was a lot of backlash, especially in younger sort of crowd on social media, saying this is not practical. How can we work 70 hours? We need a life outside work also.
Listen, I responded on the Twitter, and I'm going to repeat it. I did say there has to be a work-life balance, but I said work for 42 hours, rest of the 28 hours, work for your future, work to be relevant. It's the same way Tiger Woods is still trying to improve his swing, whatever his age be, and a Virat Kohli, despite of all the records, gets up at 4 a.m. and practices.
Absolutely. And we have a sporting icon also in the crowd, and when we get to hear that, we'll realize hard work. Okay, time for just one question, if we can take. Are you asking a question? Okay, we'll wrap up.
Oh, she's showing us a red flag.
A red flag, okay. Okay, just one question. Does somebody quickly want to ask, or should I wrap up?
I did see Vishwanath Anand.
I think he's...
Okay.
Is there a hand that wants to come up and ask a question? Okay, let's wrap it here, because this is just the start of what is going to be a very intense 2 days of deliberations. But before we end, and this is my personal request to the entire audience, a standing ovation for Mr. Gurnani for the work that he has done for India and Bharat.
See you, brother. See you. See you.
Thank you, sir. Let me take this opportunity to thank all of you, starting from our chairman, Shri C.P. Gurnani ji, our director, Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, all the board members, Professor Vivek Wadhwa, Mr. Zarabi, and my faculty colleagues, students, participants, delegates, and especially our sponsors. So we will move on with the next session, which is the most awaited. We have the Grand Chess Master, Shri Vishwanath Anand, and moderated by Mr. Jagdish Mitra. So I will request Nisha and Mayank to take over, and hope you all have a great session. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all present here. I, Nisha Rani, and my co-host Jay Patil invite you all to Indian Institute of Management, Nagpur's Zero Mile Samvad, which creates a platform for interaction between students and esteemed leaders. This platform will serve as a conduit for wisdom and experience to flow freely from the exceptional leaders and personalities to the eager mind of all of us. Today, we are diving in the significant theme of sports beyond imagination. Where will sport take us next? To enlighten us on this topic, we have with us Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand.
Mr. Vishwanathan Anand is considered one of the greatest players in chess. His hallmark lightning speed and intuitive play came to be recognized when he became the first Indian Grandmaster in 1987. He has been the #1 player since then. Mr. Vishwanathan Anand has been feted with international awards in India. He has received the civilian awards of Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri. He is also the first recipient of the Khel Ratna Award. He has the unique distinction of having a planet named after him. Yes, you heard it right. It is the planet number 4538, named after him as Vishanand.
With further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Jagdish Mitra, Chief Strategy Officer and Head of Growth, Tech Mahindra. Jagdish Mitra guides the global pursuit of business expansion through